While an occurrence of food contamination is relatively rare among the nearly 1 million restaurants in the U.S., just one claim will usually ruin the restaurant for good. This makes it very important for restaurant owners to take the time and make sure they have adequate protection and know exactly what is required to trigger coverage if they have a food contamination loss. Food contamination is another add-on coverage that can be endorsed to a restaurant policy. Most policies come with a package of extra coverages like this with a one-size-fits-all approach. A predetermined limit of, say, $5,000. Now, blindly accepting this limit without taking the time to determine what you really need is just like Russian roulette. It's also important to take a moment and read the definition of food contamination in the policy to be sure you know what's covered. Some limit the definition to just food poisoning or suspected poisoning from eating tainted food, while others may include protection for communicable diseases transmitted by one of your employees. Continue digging and you may find that communicable diseases includes bacterial illness but not viral ones. Even broader are the policies that trigger coverage when an announcement has been made by a Board of Health or other governmental authority. A few policies even trigger coverage if there is a media announcement of food contamination. Let's face it, if your restaurant is in the news for food contamination, you're either done for altogether or at the very least you're facing a huge expense to clean up your public image. Either way, you're going to need help. Now, there are up to 3 different sublimits you should be evaluating in food contamination coverage. First, the cost to clean and decontaminate your equipment as well as the cost to replace tainted food. Second, you'll have additional advertising and media expenses associated with protecting and restoring your restaurant's reputation. And lastly, you may need protection for expenses associated with inoculation of your customers. This risk and insurance coverages that address it underline just how critical it is for you to hire an agent with vast experience insuring restaurants. This stuff is just too complicated and too important to trust to just any agent who might well be learning as he goes. At Kleinert Insurance, we already insure over 100 restaurants and we understand restaurant insurance. I'd like to help you get a full understanding of the risks you face and the best ways to protect against them. Call me now and get my experience and restaurant insurance knowledge as well as our volume pricing working for you. You win twice, once on price, once on advice.